Okay, so we're looking at an immersion here. So this one, I literally turned it on, it sparked, but it's blown it, I think. But I think it's because these electrics weren't even in tight. I literally could just pull these straight out. So I've isolated the power. I've actually gone back to the fuse spur as well to make sure, and obviously disconnected these cables here. So we'll leave that off to one side. Now we're looking to replace that. So we want to look for Okay, so on this bit here, I just want to interject and just put over a couple of things that I've been asked to do. Number one, by a friend of mine, and number two, I've had a few videos on from new people that would struggle if that gate valve didn't work. For instance, like I've had it many a time where you think it's going to work, you isolate it, and then you go and open the tap and it doesn't stop dripping. So then you know that gate valve's letting by slightly. Now I was lucky there that it fully shut off and it looked quite new, to be honest. So I was very lucky there. And I must admit, this immersion heater change is very, very simple and very easy because it is a galvanized one. There's no paste involved or anything like that, but I'll go through that another time. It's just I can only do videos on what I come across. So with regards to that, what I would do then if it didn't work, then you'd have to go back further. Okay, so you've got to think of it. So that's your first point of call. If that doesn't work, then you need to go upstairs into the tank. Then you want to be bunging it. So if the bung doesn't work properly, or say you go up there and I had one not that long ago that had 35mm feeds, I think it was. It's a big house. I'm never going to have a bung big enough for that. So then I had to resort to draining the tank down. So I had to isolate the mains, open up the bath taps, and just let that tank drain. It was a fairly big tank, so it took quite a while. I just want to give people an idea of where you would go next. So if that gate valve didn't work, where would you go? So you have to follow that pipe back up into the loft. What I normally do is leave a tap running, and I'll just feel inside the main tank. I'll feel for which one is kind of like what I would explain as it's sucking. You can feel the water going down that pipe, then that's the one that you're looking for. And then bung it, do whatever you've got to do. Now this is normal, 2 or 3 bedroom houses, 4 bedroom houses. You're normally going to get this kind of setup where you'd have a 22mm feed to be nice and easy. Bung it, 9 times out of 10 that'll be okay. So just wanted to interject there and just add in my little 2 cents, really, just to try and help somebody out. So I'll isolate this. I've already turned it loads already. Okay, do that, and then we want to go sorry for stopping again. Basically, so after you've isolated that point there, what you want to do is that tank is obviously full, and so is the pipe work leading to the taps. Okay, so at this point here, we want to be getting this pipe work, this water down level down below where we're going to be working. Now this tank is flat, as you'll be able to see. Normal cylinders, you'd be working on the side, and it will be slightly on the side, so it'd be a bit more, you need a bit more water. So at that point, what you can do, so on this one, I just needed a towel really, because all I'm doing is taking the water that's in this pipe work here, leading to the taps. All I'm doing is draining that back really, and then whatever's, you know, like left over really. So that's quite easy. If it's a one on a slant, you know, which is your normal side one, it's like the side entry, but it's top entry, but it's kind of like a 45-degree angle. Then you need a little bit more. I normally carry just my my little handheld Makita wet vac. I'll just, you know, hoover it up as I go along, or, you know, you could just, I mean, I've used it before, just use towels really, because it's a little bit of water, but it's nothing major, you know, and it is kind of controllable. You can screw it back in, you know, if it gets a little bit, if you get a little bit worried. But wet vacs always come in handy at any point anyway. I'll get back to the video. Lovely, see that's done. Now, as you can see, massive pair of Stilsons. And I've got my immersion spanner. Place that over the top, and then I'll get my. Right, so at this point, couldn't use my, so I carry a massive pair of Stilsons, just because I find that when I put my immersion spanner on, the bar that you get with it never really seems to work, especially on the older types. This one, it was a dream. On the older types, it never seems to work. So what I tend to do is carry a big pair of Stilsons that gets round that, and then you're using minimum leverage to be able to, maximum leverage and not a lot of like power or strength to be able to crack the seal on the other ones, because they've usually been pasted on. So you don't really want to be using a lot of force. Now, another couple of tips that you want to be looking for at this point is you always want to be doing it when the tank is full. Okay, so never ever drain down a cylinder and then think you're going to have a go at changing the immersion heater, because you will split it or crumple it or whatever, you know. You just don't, that's just a big no-go. So because the copper, normally they've been there for 30 years sometimes, you know, and you don't really want to be twisting that tank, because then it's going to split and then you're going to have all that water coming through the ceiling, so you don't want that. So always when it's full, normally I'll crack the thread, crack the thingy, and then I'll start, then I know that I'm safe to work. Then I can just start doing other bits, like I'm doing it slowly, gently, etc. That's just a little jump in there, sorry. So luckily on this one, because obviously you can see the location of the hot pipe and all the other bits and pieces around it, I can't get my Stilsons on there. But luckily for me, someone has literally put it in, I'd say finger tight. Literally didn't even hardly even need to crack it. I literally done it with my finger, with my hand, sorry. So I'm going to start cracking that now. Take it off so we can see what's going on. Okay, so in between them two cuts of film in there, basically what I was doing was I took the old one out, and then I was down on my hands and knees basically, and I was taking off so this one, because it's a steel tank or galvanized aluminium, whatever it is, I can't think off the top of my head. These ones are standard fit immersion heater, but they use a rubber seal basically. So what I was doing, I was actually taking off the old one, putting it onto the new one, and it sits right underneath the actual plate at the top there, and then I just added a bit of silicone grease as well. Anything rubber, I always silicone grease. So I was just doing that, and then what else? Yeah, that was it really. So that's all I was doing. I was trying to think of anything else I was going to say, but yeah, that's all I was doing. And oh, that was another thing I was going to say. I did notice right at the end, when I put it back together, the tank actually comes with a new seal, so that's still on the side of the tank. So maybe if you do come across one of them green jacketed Gledeals, you might find another seal and be lucky. I was okay, just reused it, silicone greased it, it was okay, as you can see. Okay, so you can see me now, I'm just about to start putting in a new immersion. So as it's going in, you will get a little bit of water coming out just from water displacement. Okay, so just keep your towel there, don't panic, don't worry about it, it's just one of them things that happens. Now tightening it back up again, even this one has got the rubber seal, don't go mad. Even on your new ones, if you're working on the older types of cylinders, again, you don't want to be going mad when you're tightening these up, because you don't want to crack that cylinder and then cause yourself a world of pain again. Okay, so just remember, just like a little nip, and see how, because you can always go a bit tighter, but you don't want to go too mad at the beginning. That's back in. Start introducing the water back. See, we'll keep an eye on it. Just introduce it slowly. Again, just opening that gate valve. What I normally do is go open till it's open fully, and crack it back a couple, like a little bit, just so it doesn't seize in that position. Let's check. Make sure it's the air out. Okay, now what's left is live neutral nerves. Get that in now. It's usually a bit fiddly to get these back in. So let's see how we get on with this one. So obviously we just need to identify. So these are very black. Well, I'd say that they've had issues, obviously. So we're looking for the earth, which is that one there. Around inside that little one is down. anything's going to be better than what it was, because I think that's why it blew, was because it was literally not even attached. They were literally just like poked in the holes. So yeah, a big spark happened, and customer was watching. So best off just to replace it. So I'll be done with it, because the actual immersion itself, when I've taken it out, looks okay. Probably getting a recall or something like that. And again, I'm not an electrician. I'll just bung the wires back in and hope for the best, really. And also doing it this way as well, it gives you more time to keep an eye on any water leaks from doing it. Now I'm quite lucky on this, that this is a decent cylinder. Then we want to take the live. Bang it in the side of it, open that up fully. And neutral goes on. I'm going to put the power back on once it. Okay, so we're back. Now they have wired the shower pump into this as well. So maybe a bit of noise.